I call this workshop to order at 4:15 on July 14th, 2025. Please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry for the small delay. We have several presentations, and we're going to go in order of request. Please note the safety exits, the bathrooms to my right. In case of fire, don't use the elevators, and observe courtesy throughout the meeting. Madam Clerk, please read the roll.
Supervisor Evans.
Here.
Councilwoman Cunningham.
Here.
Councilman Malone.
Present.
Councilman Perticone.
Here.
Deputy Supervisor Weiner.
Here.
Attorney for the town.
Here.
Well, this has been a very busy month for us. I want to thank everyone, DPW, police, rec, and everyone who's pitched in for a very successful 4th of July. I want to answer a couple of questions during my this period is called the supervisory remarks. I commissioned a local artist, an Irondequoit artist, to take pictures for the town. Those pictures were deposited in the historical record for the town, and as such, they're available to every town resident. They're not campaign materials, can't be used as campaign materials. So to answer a couple of questions legally, the photos cannot be used for campaigns. Since no taxpayer money or town resources were used, there is no issue under the state of local procurement, finance, or ethics laws regarding the public expenditures. No gift to the government, since my payment did not trigger the legal concerns of the New York State gift laws, General Municipal Law 801. It wasn't made as a benefit to a specifically official or individual or in exchange for any action. As supervisor, I did not receive any personal benefit or a contract in return. The public received a free benefit, public access to the photos for their use and not to any single individual. And this is not a campaign contribution. It was my gift to the town so that we can record a great 4th of July celebration and have that part of the historical record for the town. And finally, the photographer is not a family member. He's just a resident of the town that I know of the work that you do. And constitutionally, I am the spokesperson for the town. Whether you like me, voted for me, didn't vote for me, I have not given up that right. We have a town board who seems to think that they can take away both constitutional rights on the U.S. government and New York State. We will deal with that in the courts. I won't address that any further. So we continue to act outside of the law. So I would like the IT to post.
I'd like to make a motion to strike.
I would like to make. I'm in the record. I would like the IT to post
Point
this
of order.
so that a point of order has to be specific to a certain law, and I'm still the chairman, and I'm still talking. So I would like the IT to post this so that the residents can get their pictures. Madam Clerk, we have a couple of presentations. We will start with the age presentation. The aging, you requested to have an aging presentation for today. Was that for the?
No, that was last.
That's for the...
That was the last time. I think it's under the discussion.
Okay.
Correct.
So,
It's on the workshop for the discussion
Okay.
period.
Historic Society is not here. And then we have the police.
Come up here, makes it easier than try to switch microphones and all that sort of stuff. So I just want to let you know, we had applied for a grant through New York State, through the Office of Victims Services, and it was a victims assistance grant. We were kind of put the cart before the horse because it was the time period for actually getting this grant was there. So we looked at it and we applied for this position for a victims assistance position here with the town. I'm going to introduce to you Paula Penna. She's going to come up here. Paula works for the county. She's a victims assistance, victims advocate. So with this grant, we were awarded $76,346,000 each year for the next 3 years, 2025 to 2028. In that, we put in for a mid-range salary about $55,000 for victims advocate, and with it also we'll actually be needing about $19,000 worth of fringe if it's needed as far as for benefits for the town. The reason why we're asking for it, the amount of victims that actually do need some follow-up in this town is, I don't want to say staggering, but it's large. It is a system where, especially where the last few years, everything is actually gone towards more criminal assistance, getting people back up on their feet. What do we do for victims? We haven't done anything for victims at all. We basically put a Band-Aid on it, say, hopefully we can get you some help through the DA's office or give you a phone number to try and call here to try and get your money back. For the elderly, how do we get your $80,000 back after you've been scammed out of it? How can we try and do some sort of a follow-up? A lot of those resources we just don't have or we don't know about, and this is where the victims advocate will come in. And without me trying to take up any more time to try to do it, we got this grant for 3 years. We're hoping that you would allow us to actually receive these monies and maybe hopefully look for the fringe benefits. There's a couple different things in there. We don't have to make this a civil service position, so that would actually allow us to hire who we need for this position. We just talked about that on the way over, so we'll have to do some more research about it. But we'll also be able to pay basically a competitive salary, and we will be able to hopefully, if they don't need the fringe benefits, we can't really say until we see who's applying for it, but it might be a situation where we might need maybe $15,000 to $20,000 of fringe for the next 3 years. Obviously, that's all dependent on who we hire and how we actually post this position. But for the position itself, I'm going to let Paula explain to you what she does on a daily basis, why it's needed, and why I think we need this position here for the town of Irondequoit.
And before you speak, ma'am, this was actually on my agenda to speak to you about. I've had several requests from older adults who have been the car stolen or broken into, and they feel vulnerable. So this is right on my agenda. So I really appreciate this, and it's very timely. And we were going to talk about that for the upcoming budget. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a yes already, even before you speak. And I'm glad to hear what you have to say.
Hi, I am Paula Penna. I am a victim advocate with Monroe County Sheriff's Office. I worked as a victim advocate for 26 years with the District Attorney's Office, and 4 years ago this month I transferred to the Sheriff's Office. So I've got 29 years experience, and I have experience both from the prosecution side and now from the law enforcement side, which is vastly different. I will tell you that up front. The town of Irondequoit does have a memorandum of understanding signed with the county sheriff's department right now. I work out of A-Zone, and I cover Irondequoit. I also want to say I'm a town of Irondequoit resident, so this has been very near and dear to my heart because I've lived here my entire life. Grew up on Laurelton Road, currently live on Purdy Road, so didn't go far from home. I can't touch but the tip of the iceberg in Irondequoit from my position. In the sheriff's office, I covered Perrington, Penfield, and Pittsford. I have a memorandum of understanding with town of Irondequoit, town of Webster, town of Fairport, or village of Fairport, and village of East Rochester. So that's the entire east side of the county. That's a lot of victims, and I'm one person. So I'm absolutely available to the town and the police department. Whenever they call me, I can respond. I have helped them on a number of occasions in emergent situations. I go through domestic violence reports on a regular basis to see if I can do any outreach to domestic violence victims. Unfortunately, the way it's set up is that I don't get them immediately. I get them 7 to 10 days after they've been processed. So my follow-up is slower than it needs to be. And that's just, that's something we've talked about. We've tried to find workarounds, but it's just the way the system works, and we can't do it quicker than that for every domestic. If there's one that needs immediate attention, I get a phone call from the police department. I don't even get a chance to get into the car thefts, the elderly scams. Somebody has been mugged. I don't really get to those. I just don't have the time. I just don't have the ability to do every little crime that comes across the desk. I approached Captain Franco and said, this is a grant that you guys should be applying for. The only other town currently in the county that has an advocate is Greece. And you guys, the town of Irondequoit and town of Greece, are very comparable in the number of people that you serve. The district attorney's office has advocates. So if a case is solved and there is an arrest, the district attorney's office victim advocates can get involved at that point in time. So that alleviates some of the cases. But a majority of the cases are not getting the proper attention that they deserve. And speaking as a town resident, I'm sad about that. It's hard to really imagine that there's neighbors of mine that don't have any idea what resources are out there because they don't have the ability to get to my desk necessarily. So I'm happy to answer any questions about what I do, how I do it, if you have more questions about how it would be beneficial, I'm happy to answer anything you guys have.
We have two agencies moving into Irondequoit, the Willow Domestic Violence and Child Advocacy Center. And I think there's a proposal to have a disability advocacy move into Irondequoit also.
Yes.
Well, I'm not privileged to give that information as it's still pending. How do you fit into that scenario of the plan that Willow has?
So, speaking specifically about the Child Advocacy Center at the moment, I can tell you that we have a multidisciplinary team that we work with through the Child Advocacy Center. So if there's a case that comes to the Child Advocacy Center that is in my zone, Penfield, Pittsford, or Perrington, I am the advocate. I go to the Child Advocacy Center to provide services to that family there as needed, and I assist with the investigation with the sheriff's office. That's how it works for all of, obviously, the sheriff's cases. And in towns where there's no victim advocate in the police department, they have family advocates that are employed by the Child Advocacy Center, and they pick up that gap, so to speak. With Willow, we're always working with Willow. I mean, very close relationship and working relationship with them. The Family Justice Center is the newest piece of Willow, and we have we've signed an MOU with them to have a multidisciplinary approach there as well, and we're working out the kinks for that because that's not fully up and running yet.
Thank you. Madam Controller, I know that some of our projects for the ARPA funds did not come through or rearrange. Can you, don't have the answer right now, look at if we have $60,000 to $80,000 that we can advocate to the benefits that the chief is asking for? That should cover 3 years, and then we can make up for the rest in the surpluses
So-
as we increase our.
So as far as the funding, explain to you as we got it for 3 years. The town of Greece fully funds their own. They don't apply for the grant. They do it all on their own. This grant has been around for over 30 years,
40 years.
over 40 years. And usually if you're awarded the grant, I don't want to say it's guaranteed that you will have it for the life of this position, but it is something that if highly unlikely that it would ever be taken away. So looking at going forward, it looks like, the majority of this position would be funded by New York State Office of Victims
But we-
Services.
But we still need the benefits covered, right?
Benefits, and it all, like I said, it all depends on who we hire and what level of benefits they need, if they need any whatsoever. But, so that's kind of the unknown right now.
Yes, I'd rather identify the funds available if we have them. So if it does come to fruition, we can just kind of move on it, then figure out the following years later. Does this make sense?
The only issue with using ARPA money is it does have to be expended before the ending
Before
of
the
this
end.
grant.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. Thanks, I forgot about that part of it. Okay.
I mean, I would think within our budget, we could find $20,000 in an ongoing basis. I'm hopeful.
I was hopeful too. I just, I know I kind of put the cart before the horse, but it was, the money was there and I didn't want to lose it.
Perfect. No, that's perfect. When does the money have to be, remind me again? Is it 2 years or this
It has to be expended by the end of next year,
next year?
2026.
Okay, all right.
I can see a lot of potential working with our school districts, working within the rec department, having some educational program, especially around scams and elder abuse, and also working with Lifespan too.
A lot of
Yeah.
work with Lifespan.
Because they've got that already,
Yeah.
They already have that in place. There's a lot that we don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
Lots of services there. So making sure that our community members know that these services are available, I think it's really great. I can just see a lot of potential. So Chief, thank you for bringing this forward.
Yeah. I appreciate the forethought of the police department in initiating this.
I'm just driving the car. I'll thank Captain Franco for, putting it forward, so.
Thank you.
You, Captain Frank.
Just one question. As we get into this and we start looking for a person, will you be helping with the hiring of it?
I'm
Okay.
happy to help.
Okay.
And I also want to say that, like, for training purposes,
Yeah.
Office of Victim Services provides training,
Okay, good. Okay.
especially because they want to make sure that the person that they're hiring for the
Sure.
grant has the knowledge of what they do, what their compensation program can allow in compensation for victims of crime. And we in Monroe County have a very strong connection, all the advocates that work. We work very closely together. We support each other. So I would very happily help
Okay.
to onboard somebody and get the program to the point where it can function on
And
its
then
own.
then they have to do the hire. There is training involved in it as well.
Yes,
too.
there's
Okay.
training that the Office of Victim Services provides for free.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That moves us into department heads update. We'll start left and go right.
Yes, we are, did the first section of Oakview Drive paving this morning, which was, we started up at the corner of Titus and we finished that part, which was the hardest part, so we're glad to get that part behind us. We also paved Glen Haven Road after we did the curbing a few weeks ago, so those are two, both those sections got new curbing and new pavement, so we're excited about those. I also wanted to mention tomorrow from 5 to 7 at the St. Paul Exempts Hall is the Monroe County Open House about the reconstruction of Thomas Avenue. We are also in numerous conversations about garbage in town. So, almost 200 residents got notified of service changes, and we are working with those areas and garbage haulers to make sure that their garbage continues to get picked up. We also completed the town parks trail maps, and we're going to start rolling those out. I think we're going to start putting them on the website, and then we'll see if we want to delve into printing in some fashion to get them out to certain areas. And we're also starting the solar panel and EV charger replacement on the farmers market shed, and the EV chargers are being replaced at Camp Eastman as well as the one here on the town hall campus.
Commissioner McGee, can you find out what Webster's success is in printing and their costs? That's where the idea actually came from. So if you can follow up and just look at, what is their distribution and how they do it. I didn't do that part when I got when I passed off the information sheet. All right, thank you.
Sure.
Mr. Director?
Yes, thank you. As this is the busiest time of the year for our department, we continue to see heightened activity for code complaints as well as building permit applications. A lot of our efforts this past month, though, have been on a couple different projects that have been at the board level. Those include the grant applications that we discussed last meeting. I've been working with Labella to facilitate those applications. We've had pretty good response from our local and state elected officials with letters of support for our comprehensive plan update. So I'm encouraged by that. That application will go to the state at the end of this month. So I anticipate we'll hear something back from the state by the end of the year on that. A lot of work's also gone into short-term rentals, which I know we'll discuss later, as well as age-friendly communities. For the board, 95 Lake Bluff, which you'll remember was a town board resolution to demolish a derelict property. Demolition date has been set with July 29th being that date. It should take the balance of that week, so about 4 days for things to go from start to finish to be torn down. In the grant world, our IHIP program, which is currently overseen by Lorianne Heller, she will be departing her employment with the town starting Friday of this week. I've been working with Comptroller Marsh on having a smooth transition planned until we can find somebody to replace her. And then something I talked about earlier this year has kind of finally gone into practice, which is we partner with our professional fire departments in town to help perform some of our lower level fire safety inspections. That's finally gotten underway. That's a huge lift for us because it, number one, saves on costs. We don't have to hire an additional person to perform the inspections that are required. And it helps us get caught up to a place where I feel, good about us doing them on an annual basis for every business in town. So we've made a lot of progress on that.
Thank you. Where do we stand at for the practice demolition of the Kings Highway property? Or do we have a closing yet?
I believe we did close on it a couple weeks ago, Mr. Attorney. Is that correct?
Oh, excuse me, we did close on the property, I believe, 2 weeks ago now.
I didn't need to sign anything?
Yeah.
I didn't need to sign anything, or did I already sign it?
You already signed
Oh,
the
okay.
agreement. What about all you need to sign?
I'm better than I thought I was. Are we going to still let them use that property for practice?
We have discussed that with the fire department that has jurisdiction in that area. I know that they're going to roll out something for all the departments in the town, so that should be coming sooner than later.
Great. I think that'd be a great resource for them. Okay, thank you. Madam Director?
Thank you. Just want to give a huge thank you to everyone that participated in some way, shape, or form on the July 4th festival last week, especially our sponsors, donors, and volunteers that really came through and helped us put on a great party. Also our colleagues here at the town of Irondequoit, as well as our community partners, and finally the patrons who came out to party with us. We thought it was a pretty fantastic couple of days. We are already making changes and improvements for next year. We just want to keep growing and getting better, so we've already had some debrief and follow-up discussion about things we can change to make the party better next year. So we're already working on 2026. But thank you to everybody that came out and supported in some way and was a part of that festival. We appreciate you. Additionally, just in the throes of all things summer, so we have our 9 summer day camps that are currently taking place all over town. Also, reminder, Thursday evening farmers markets. We are averaging between 2,200 and 2,700 patrons per market, which is pretty good, especially this early in the season. So we want to keep building on that momentum. We'll try to keep bringing in new different vendors and ideas for themes and make things extra special at the market on Thursday nights. But we hope folks can come down and join us. Next up is the Classic Car Cruisin', which is Sunday, July 27th from 11 to 3 here at the Town Hall campus. So we're looking forward to that next. And then the Hoochie Festival is right around the corner, August 8th to the 10th up at Camp Eastman. Ticket sales are going well. We're still in the throes of doing a lot of planning, but we think it's going to be a really cool festival, and we're excited to see that come to fruition as well. And then just finally, our Back to School Bash and Food Truck Rodeo is scheduled for Saturday, August 16th at the Community Center, 11 to 2. We'll be doing school supply giveaways, free haircuts for the kiddos, food trucks, games, bounce houses, all that good stuff, so a vendor fair. So we'll have more information about all those things coming out shortly. Thank you.
Madam Director, last year, some of the barbers that are in town reached out and asked if they could be part of it. Are we using in-town barbers to give the kids haircuts, or are we coordinating that?
We're working with the REOC.
Okay. Thank you.
Shannon, I just wanted to say thank you to you and your department. I'm continuously amazed by your coordination, your steadiness, and just all that you and your department does, and with you at the helm, you've done a great job. And I want to thank all of our staff too. The July 4th, 3rd and 4th was an event that really took the efforts of every department here at Town Hall. So thank you very much. It's been something that has gone on for years. I certainly have fond memories coming up here when I was a kid. And I'm really appreciative of the fact that you are always looking towards next year and getting better. And although I'm not sure how you ever can top what you do, but you just really are always looking forward and always looking at suggestions. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Ann. I appreciate that. And yeah, I appreciate you also, the shout out to the town staff, because quite honestly, this year there was a very strong sense of camaraderie across departments with all of the town staff, and that makes a huge difference. So the recreation department really, truly appreciates all of our colleagues that helped make that happen. So thank you to everybody.
And we can see that. We can see how strong our staff is together, and you've really been working well. So thank you for that.
Madam Director, last question. Can you work with the Chief of Staff and bring me up to speed on Hoochie Nanny with all the plans, everything that's been done, everything that needs to be done by the end of the week, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
I would like to add one more thing to the 4th of July, too. I really think, I saw a huge amount of families here. That was really impressive. I don't think I've seen more people at the parade, which probably is part of the content as well as partly weather. But I really thought, a lot of the bands, contemporary bands, it really attracted young families, and I really think whoever programmed it all, you and your staff really did a great job getting interesting events, food trucks, vendors. It wasn't the old type of thing that we've traditionally seen, just the hot dog hamburger type place. The food is excellent, the bands are excellent, venues, of course, and everything, so,
Thank you.
yep.
Thank you. The court's scanning project that we've had is in its final stages, and we will actually be applying for the 2026 grant.
I don't think the mic's on.
It's on. Can you hear me now? So we will be applying for the 2026 grant within the next month or so. That's it.
And I just want to say thanks for the updates. For the people at home, the court is part of the town, but doesn't necessarily have to report to the town government because this is a separate governing body, 3 branches of government. So thanks very much for being here, and I really appreciate the updates.
Yep. So last month we actually held our first auction at our impound lot. We did have 10 vehicles. 9 went within about 10 minutes. We made a little over $6,000. It would have been close to $10,000, but one person reneged, but we'll have that vehicle ready to go for next auction right there. So the way it's going, we'll probably have our next auction probably, I would say by the end of August. We'll probably need to do that. So it seemed to go really well, and we obviously, our costs were more than covered, and I think eventually in the long run this is going to be a good thing for the town. So really good. Teen Academy coming up in 2 weeks, starts next Monday. So we have 11 campers, or cadets we want to call them, and then we got a full week planned for them all through local law enforcement, federal law enforcement. We'll get them out on the boats for the Coast Guard. We'll have the FBI, ATF, everybody else for them. So it should be a good experience for them. After that, we have National Night Out coming out. I think it's the 5th, it's first Tuesday of August. Be right out here in Town Hall, front of Town Hall. Starts at 5:30 at night. We'll have local law enforcement around, and we will also be we'll have a dunk tank there. We're going to be raising funds for the officer wellness and peer support program for our officers, and so might be a guest spot of trying to dunk the chief. So hoping to try and make some, have some smiles and have some good times that night right there. And then obviously Hoochie coming up right there. That's going to be a big thing for, not really for us. We'll be there, obviously have a presence, but we're going to make sure that it's a nice, quiet, safe festival for the town. So that's about it.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk?
So in the clerk's office, it's really business as usual. We are a little shorthanded because of vacations and different things like that. Just keep in mind, if you do need any passport appointments or passports or marriage license, it's done by appointment only.
Madam Liaison? Liaison report?
We for the library, things are running very smoothly as usual. Certainly very concerned about cuts at the federal level. Greg is working really closely with his colleagues, and we just need to keep an eye on that. There is another board meeting on Wednesday.
Thank you. I'm sorry, didn't go to you right now.
So in our office, we are gearing up for the 2026 budget season. We did release some preliminary instructions to the departments late last week. I'll be getting a schedule together and getting that out in the next couple weeks. We're finishing up our CDBG consolidated plan for the upcoming CDBG year, which begins August 1st. And other than that, it's just day-to-day in the comptroller's office.
Thank you. Can you give me a preliminary list of the preliminary budgets before I give it to the, so I can have a copy of it? Thanks. Mr. Attorney?
Sure. So my primary
task in the last few weeks really has been to put together the draft short-term rental law, working with the deputy supervisor and the director of community development. And glad to say that we finally have something to present tonight. I also started this month, my goal was to start having office hours, and we did that. It'll be going forward on the second Wednesday of the month at 9 a.m. I believe Ms. Nichols, I think, is handling the schedule, the sign-ups. At least she did last time. I don't know if she's agreed to continue doing that, but that's my plan, to be here on the second Wednesday of every month. And of course, I'm also available to staff by phone and email. And you know, you never know what you're going to handle. There seems to be a lot of FOIL requests lately, and you know, I also the mention of the library. I did work with the director to sign off on the DASNY grant funding that they received. So hopefully, I think they'll get reimbursed for some renovation projects that they did. So that paperwork is done, and we just keep plugging away and answering questions. And my list never gets any shorter. So it's an evergreen list.
All right, Madam Clerk, I'm sorry, and Mr. Attorney, I got a notice about a DASD from like 2020 or 2021. Did we, without getting into it, did we figure out what that was for? It was for a project that was done and funding is still sitting at the state.
I will have to review that. I don't recall seeing anything about that. Okay, I'll double check for it.
I forgot to send you a note on that. That's my error.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. So.
Yeah, it's from a couple of cycles ago. It's before any of us were here. Okay, Madam Controller, we have a financial report.
Thank you. The 2025 financial results as of June 30th. The town's total expenses of $22,204,000 represent 51.9% of budget and are slightly higher than the 50% of the year that has elapsed. Of the total expense, $19,591,000 are actual expenses, equating to 45.8% of budget, while encumbrances of $2,613,000 make up the remaining 6.1%. Encumbrances represent commitments for services, supplies, and commodities that will be needed during the year. The general fund expenses are slightly above budget at 51.2%, or $14,163,000. The actual expenditures are $13,075,000, and encumbrances are $1,088,000. Included in the general fund encumbrances are attorney fees and contracted expenses throughout the town, including EMS services. Collectively, the expenses in the highway funds of $4,092,000 are higher than the 50% of the year that has elapsed at 68.4%. Actual expenses within the highway funds are $2,725,000, and encumbrances of $1,367,000 represent 22.8%. Encumbrances within the highway funds include paving materials and services, oil and stoning materials, fuel, and surface treatment. Expenditures in the library fund are close to budget at $1,486,000, or 51%. Included in the expenses is a serial bond payment for the library facility. Sewer fund expenses of $1,574,000 are 39.8% of budget. Actual expenses equate to $1,468,000, and encumbrances of $106,000 account for the remainder. Expenses in the stormwater drainage are approximately 30% of budget, a total of $293,000. Actual expenses are $246,000, while encumbrances account for 4.8%. Townwide expenses are on par with the 50% of the year that has elapsed at 51.9%, or $22,204,000. Actual expenses, excluding encumbrances, is 45.8% of budget for the town. The three major funds, the general fund, consolidated highway fund, and the sewer fund, actual expenses are also below budget. Actual general fund expenditures equate to 47.3% of budget, while the highway and sewer funds' actual expenses are 45.6% and 31.7% respectively. The general fund has received revenue of $18,099,000, or 65.9% of budget. At the end of June, 100% of real estate tax of $13,011,000 has been collected. 105.9% of payment in lieu of tax revenue is in. An additional $25,000 is due in October. 2 months of sales tax totaling $1,176,000, or 16.8%, have been received to date. Other major revenue sources such as franchise cable fees, mortgage tax, and AIM payments are due later in the year. The total town revenue and appropriated fund balance for the first half of the year equate to $30,862,000, or 72.4%. Real estate taxes across funds are $19,366,000. At month end, the library has recorded revenue of $2,843,000, or 97.6%. 78.3%, or $4,681,000 of revenue has been verified by the highway funds. The sewer fund has documented $3,822,000, or 96.7% of revenue. Stormwater drainage has received 99% of its budgeted revenue at $973,000. Page 3 of the financial report presents the second quarter year-to-date summary in comparison to the prior 6 years. Regarding expenditure by fund, which are included on the top third of the page, the percent of total budget spent and encumbered is 51.9%, which is comparable to previous years. The middle third of the page contains relevant sources of revenue for the general fund, and the bottom third of the page are the year-to-date revenue comparisons for other funds, with the last line reflecting the total collective revenue and fund balance for the town. The 2025 general fund revenue of 65.9% is on par with prior years, as is the town-wide revenue of 72.4%. Fluctuations occur year to year due to timing of cash receipts. This concludes the financial report for June 2025.
Are there any questions, comments concerning the financial report?
I have none.
Seeing none, Madam Clerk, we have some minutes to review.
The minutes are not attached to the agenda. They will be reviewed and voted on at the regular town board meeting.
Okay, we have some review items for the, thank you very much, Madam Clerk. We have some review items for the town agenda for our regular town board meeting on the 22nd of July. We have 7 items to review. Madam Clerk, can you read the first item, please?
Resolution authorizing the appointment of 3 full-time laborers in the Irondequoit Public Works Department.
May I have an explanation, please?
Yes, these are to fill backfill vacancies due to promotion. So we have conducted most of the interviews. We have some second interviews this week, and we'll have the names by the end of the week, and I'll update the board.
Thanks very much for your hard work on that. Any questions or comments? Madam Clerk?
Resolution authorizing the permanent appointment of a drafting technician.
Yeah, this is the permanent appointment of Chris Brett. He's been a long-time employee within the department, but he, in drafting technician, he had to take a civil service exam in which he passed and was immediately reachable. So this would just be the permanent appointment to that position.
Thanks, Tom. Congratulations on that. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, Madam Clerk?
Resolution authorizing the permanent appointment of an office clerk 3.
May I have an explanation?
This is in the clerk's office. The temporary appointment of an office clerk 3, Zachary Brooks. He took the exam and passed, so he's now reachable, so we want to make it a permanent position.
Congratulations. Any questions or comments? Thank you. Madam Clerk, before you move on that, on the office clerk positions, and Chief, this is probably for you also. Monroe County has a new, or the Civil Service has a new policy that some of these positions are not reachable So if we document it properly, and remind me to get back to you that, we can hire the person to a higher grade. If they're, because of the problems with civil service, so there's a mechanism to hire somebody at a higher level, even though there's no test, and then have them fill that position. So they did make some adjustments on that. Want to make you guys aware of that if you haven't, and I'll get that information to you later on. And for the people at home, we have some people who've been waiting to take the test or who come up just short. So this gives a chance for someone who can functionally perform the job, but who may not be eligible due to problems on the civil service side. Madam Clerk, next item.
Authorizing the permanent appointment of a senior dispatcher.
May I have an explanation?
Yes, this will be the permanent appointment of Becky McLean. She's been the senior dispatcher in our office for just over a year, probably closer to a year and a half now, and she's fantastic, and she also took the test and was immediately reachable. So this will be the permanent appointment of Becky.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments? Madam Clerk, next item.
Resolution calling for a public hearing on a proposed local law to amend the historic preservation law of the town of Irondequoit.
May I have an explanation?
Yes, thank you. This is a full rewrite of the code relative to the Historic Preservation Commission in the town. This was actually commissioned under then Supervisor Fitzpatrick and has finally made its way to your desks. No real material changes to it, just cleaning up the language as to what the state is looking for in terms of regulation with the Historic Preservation Commission.
Great. Is there anything that we should be adding to that looking forward to the future?
I don't believe so, and Chris Brandt from the Historic Preservation Commission will be here at the next meeting just to kind of discuss the methodology behind what they've written, but this looks at not only now but in the future in terms of regulation of historic properties and how they're identified.
Thank you.
Chris has done a lot of work on this, so thank you to him, and it'll be interesting to hear him discuss this next week.
Any other questions or comments? Madam Clerk, next item.
Resolution regarding State Environmental Quality Review Act compliance in the matter of rezoning 1776, 1750, 1732, 1720, and 1710 Hudson Avenue from R1 Residential and M Manufacturing Districts to R5 Residential District.
May I have an explanation?
Yes, thank you very much. This is in regards to the State Environmental Quality Review Act determination in the matter of rezoning the 5 properties on Hudson Avenue from R1 Residential and M Manufacturing to R5 Residential District.
Comments? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, next item.
Resolution approving an application on the matter of rezoning 1776, 1750, 1732, 1720, and 1710 Hudson Avenue from R1 Residential and M Manufacturing Districts to R5 Residential District.
May I have an explanation?
Yes, thank you again. This is the approval resolution. If the board so chooses to approve the rezoning for the 5 parcels located on Hudson Avenue from R1 Residential and M Manufacturing to R5 Residential District. Mr. John Sharaba is here if the board should have any questions.
Do we have any questions for Mr. Sharaba? Thanks very much for attending the meeting. Seeing none, Madam Clerk, next item.
Resolution regarding State Environmental Quality Review Act compliance in the matter of rezoning 31 Dozier Lane, tax ID 092.07-1-85 from R1 Residential to RRPDD Ridge Road Plan Development District.
May I have an explanation?
Yes, thank you. This again is the State Environmental Quality Review Act resolution for the determination of the rezoning from R1 Residential to Ridge Road Plan Development District for 31 Dozier Lane.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, next item.
Resolution approving an application on the matter of rezoning 31 Dozier Lane from R1 Residential to PDD Ridge Road Plan Development District.
I'm not going to ask you to do it again.
One more time. This is the actual approval resolution for the, if the board so chooses to approve the rezoning of 31 Dozier Lane from R1 residential to Ridge Road Plan Development District. And again, Mr. Sharaba is here, and he is the agent on this case as well.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, next item.
Resolution authorizing Labella Associates to assist with a competitive New York Forward grant application.
We have an explanation.
Yes, thank you. This is relative to an application that we put forward last year for the Hudson-Titus Cooper corridor to participate in the New York Forward grant process. After getting feedback from the state and Empire State Development, we'd like to give it another go after making some changes and utilize the services of Labella in order to do that due to the highly technical nature of the application. This would be approximately $8,000 that is not currently budgeted that we would have to use from the general fund.
Any questions or comments?
How much is the total grant?
It would be based on the projects associated with it, so it could be anywhere from $500,000 to $10 million. Just depends on what projects we put into it.
Hey, that's worth it.
And if I understand correctly, the business owners were very excited about this grant and very supportive. So, and there are some new business owners that want to support the grant. So it's great. Any other questions or comments? And Mr. Director, can you send me an email with the suggested improvements for the upcoming grant from the feedback you got from the state?
Yeah, it'll be some time because we're still working with the property owners to identify what those projects are going to be.
I mean, the feedback from the last grant.
Oh, okay, sure.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, next item.
Resolution calling for a public hearing on a proposed local law to amend Town Code Chapter 235 regarding short-term rentals.
May I have an explanation?
Sure. If you will, I'll maybe introduce this, but as you're all aware, we've been working on short-term rental regulations for at least the past year, and I think what we had heard from the public after the last time we brought it before the public that, you know, the outright ban of, was not really what people were looking for. So they were looking for a regulated law that would allow a limited number of short-term rentals. And to that end, we've been working with a small subgroup of the public, as well as town board members, the attorney, and the town staff, to try to craft a regulation that kind of codified those things that we heard from the public, as well as the public that we heard initially, you know, from all of the reviews and input that we've received. So to that end, there is a draft that we will be discussing, and I can go over some of the highlights tonight, if you will. But, you know, we do have in here, I think, you know, at one point there was another law that was considered the gold standard. I do think that this is a very well-crafted law that has a number of regulations, including a cap on the number of short-term rentals. We'll be instituting an application process, and if that cap number is exceeded, we look to have a lottery to try to award the permits for those. We are encouraging owner-occupied short-term rentals by allowing them to have a easier renewal process, as well as a reduced fee over the course of their ownership. The permit is not something that is carried with the property. It's carried with the owner. If the property changes hands, a new owner, if they, you know, if there's cap space, would have to reapply for the law, for the permit to have a short-term rental. But there are a number of things that are requirements now, including a land survey, drawings and plans of the layouts, the number of occupants, the prohibition of parties and noises. We're requiring, which is a new national trend, noise sensing equipment so that owners are immediately notified. We have shortened the distance that management companies can, or owners can live away from their property, all centered around town hall. I believe it's 20-mile radius, need to be responsive within 4 hours of any complaint brought before any renter. And there's including some requirements for, off-street and on-street parking, maximum number of occupants, 2 per bedroom. And I think, it's a fairly well-crafted law. I'm hopeful that it's a very well-crafted law. I think that we've worked really hard on it, and we're interested to have the public's input on it. Additionally, last thing too, fines and violations. We have placed fairly steep fines for violations, which are now spelled out within the code, so that the police or other code enforcement has something to rely upon when they go and have these complaints. And if the number of complaints is exceeded, it causes a revocation of their permit, which is not reapplicable for 2 years. There is a provision within the code for any variances, which would be adjudicated before the Zoning Board of Appeals. So I will kind of provide a handout at the next meeting for anyone interested of the overview, but, and I don't know, Ann, you worked with us on this also, if there's anything you wanted to add.
I just wanted to thank you for your leadership on this, and also Mr. Lang for the work that you and your department put into this. I think it does have teeth to it now, and we really did try to come up with a compromise. And I think the task force, we met twice. It was important to bring them together. We had 2 people who pretty much opposed short-term rentals and 2 that were in favor. So we had some really robust conversations. And Mr. Weiner, you should be really proud of this document, the amount of work that you put into it.
It was really a team effort, but I do think it's going to weed out the bad actors very quickly and allow the quiet and appropriate operators to exist within the town.
Anything you'd like to add, Mr. Attorney?
No, just that, it was a team effort, and I'm happy to have been a part of it. And, I guess I'm anxious to hear if there's any questions about it. Did we set a date for the hearing, or did we target that date at all?
The hearing is going to be in the month of August at the town board.
Okay.
And did we distinguish in the law the difference of rental property versus short-term? Because that's one of the problems that we had.
So we do have definitions in here of bed and breakfast, a hotel or inn. The motel and a short-term rental are all contained within the proposed law.
Well, first of all, thank you for everyone who did. This is something we've been looking for, right? There's some enforcement in here. I think it covers. I've been through it a couple times. I'll go through it again, but I think this is definitely something we've been looking for, so we can sink our teeth into it. We do have some enforcement here that helps with it, whether it's a police department or code enforcement. So thank you for everyone that was involved, but this is definitely something that we've been looking for, and I'm glad we have it in front of us now. So thank you.
And if I could, I'd like to thank everybody involved also. It's been a long time coming. We've been dealing with almost 2 years now. So again, thank to the board members, Mr. Attorney, and everybody else that helped with this. It's been an issue we've been dealing with, for quite some time. And I want to thank the efforts to get to this point.
And also I want to extend that thanks to the Labella staff and the hundreds of people who gave their opinion that got us to this point, as well as all the calls and letters that I received over the last year and a half. So I appreciate everyone's input, and it's glad to have teamwork on that. And Madam Clerk.
Resolution authorizing an agreement with Lifespan of Greater Rochester Incorporated for the Home Safe Home for Seniors program of support services to the elderly as approved through the Community Development Block Grant during August 1st, 2025 through July 31st, 2026.
May I have an explanation?
Thank you. This resolution would authorize an agreement with Lifespan of Greater Rochester as part of our Community Development Block Grant Program, which commences on August 1st of this year. This would authorize the agreement for $15,000 for the Home Safe Home program for the seniors.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Resolution authorizing an agreement with Lifespan of Greater Rochester Incorporated for transportation services to the elderly as approved through the Community Block Grant during August 1st, 2025 through July 31st, 2026.
May I have an explanation, Madam Controller?
Thank you. This would authorize an agreement with Lifespan of Greater Rochester for our transportation services, again, part of our Community Development Block Grant Program, which will commence on August 1st. The amount of this agreement will be $32,954 and was approved as part of our CDBG process.
Any questions or comments? Madam Clerk.
Authorizing an agreement with the Irondequoit Community Cupboard to provide healthy food choices to low-income residents as approved through the Community Development Block Grant during August 1st, 2025 through July 31st, 2026.
Madam Controller.
Thank you. Again, part of our Community Development Block Grant Program. This would authorize an agreement with the Irondequoit Community Cupboard for healthy food choices for residents in Irondequoit. The amount of this agreement would be $25,045.
Any questions or comments? Madam Clerk.
Resolution authorizing an agreement with the Housing Council at Pathstone for housing counseling services to low and moderate income residents as approved through the Community Development Block Grant during August 1st, 2025 through July 31st, 2026.
Madam Controller.
Thank you. This will authorize an agreement with the Housing Council at Pathstone for housing counseling services for Irondequoit residents for the 2025 CDBG program year. The amount on this contract is $27,135.
Any questions or comments? Madam Clerk.
Resolution authorizing an agreement with the Catholic Family Center for non-medical home support services to the elderly as approved through the Community Development Block Grant during August 1st, 2025 through July 31st, 2026.
Madam Controller.
Thank you. This resolution will authorize an agreement with the Catholic Family Center in the amount of $27,000 for services to the elderly community in Irondequoit. This again is part of our Community Development Block Grant Program for the upcoming year.
Any questions or comments?
Just a general comment about all of these. Thank you, Ms. Marsh, for your leadership, and certainly to our community development department as well. As we talk about being an age-friendly community, this is exactly a portion of that. It's making sure that people are safe in their homes and that they're fed and that they feel good about staying in their community and in their homes. So these are really important resolutions, really important services in our community that we are helping people access. So thank you.
Madam Clerk.
Resolution authorizing capital lease financing with, who will vote on that tonight, for one bucket tree truck for the Bureau of the Public Works.
Have an explanation?
Thank you. So if there will be a resolution presented tonight to authorize the agreement with M&T Bank for a capital lease. If that is approved tonight, this resolution will be brought forth next week to authorize the agreement of the financing with M&T Bank. We did send out a request for quote. We only received one quote back, which was M&T Bank. The total on the capital lease with the interest, it's on here. I apologize. I don't see it in front of me. I believe it's $354,000. That will be the repayment.
Just as a reminder, for all RFQs, RFPs, per ton code, I have to sit on the bid opening. So we'll talk about that later, but I don't have a problem with this one. Okay. Madam Clerk, next item.
Resolution authorizing the acceptance of a monetary gift from Ridge Donut for the Officer Wellness Program within the Irondequoit Police Department.
Chief?
Yes, this is for the monies that was donated by Ridge Donuts after our Donuts with the Cops program.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Thanks very much to Rich Donuts. My waistline looks the way that it does because of them, so. Madam Clerk.
Resolution authorizing the acceptance of a monetary gift from Italio Incorporated for the Officer Wellness Program within the Irondequoit Police Department.
Chief?
Yep, same thing. Italio made a generous donation to us towards our Officer Wellness Program and just looking to accept the monies.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Resolution calling for a public hearing to amend Article 7 of Chapter 222 of the Code of the Town of Irondequoit relating to installation of no left turn signs.
Madam Commissioner?
Yes, this is for the Monroe County DOT is doing the reconstruction on North Goodman, and per their review, they've asked for the addition of no left turn signs and there's a list on the second page of where they've proposed that. So this is to amend our town code to accommodate this request.
Thank you. Madam, any questions or comments? Madam Clerk?
Resolution authorizing the Recreation Department to make a donation of proceeds from Classic Car Cruise Incorporated.
You have an explanation?
Yes, our upcoming Classic Car Cruise-In scheduled for Sunday, July 7th from 11 to 3 here at Town Hall. We'll be requesting a suggested donation by all of the entries. Last year we had over 130 participants, and we would like to donate the proceeds to United Way, which will then we'll split between Sunset House and Irondequoit Community Covered.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Madam Clerk?
Resolution approving the special event license for the St. Joseph's Ukrainian Catholic Church Annual Ukrainian Festival.
Madam Clerk?
This is their annual event. We have all the approvals in, so once voted on, we hope that you'll approve it for next week.
Any questions or comments? I can't wait to get my Volotnias. Madam Clerk?
Resolution approving the special event license for Bert Galman to conduct a triathlon.
Madam Clerk?
So this is their annual triathlon that's put on. We have all the department head approvals, so we're still waiting on insurance, which hopefully we'll have by the board meeting.
Any questions or comments? Madam Clerk?
Resolution authorizing the expansion of McDonald's current hours. I will defer this to Bill Lang.
Mr. Director?
Yes, the McDonald's at 1571 East Ridge Road has indicated an interest in expanding their hours to be a 24-hour operation. Town Code 139, Section 4A requires that the town board issue a special use permit for that due to the fact that they'll be operating between the hours of 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. It'll be drive-through only, is my understanding, after midnight, and Eric Verstreet from McDonald's is actually here, just in case you have any questions about the operation.
Great. I don't have a question about that. Do they need a renewal at a certain period of time, or is it just permanently there?
The code doesn't outline any sort of renewal, so it appears that it just is in perpetuity.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
Chief, do we see any issue with this from the police standpoint?
Yeah, great point. No, sir, nothing that I can
Other than
see.
officers can get food at night now.
Yeah, absolutely. Our guys are actually pretty healthy. They usually bring their own food, but
Yeah.
so pretty good.
Ever since McDonald got rid of those salads in a cup.
Yeah, right.
The wraps are back, yeah.
I want to thank McDonald's for being part of the business community. I think you do a great job training our kids. You know, I actually was one of those kids who flipped hamburgers in the old days and on the quarter pounder grill, etc. So I appreciate it. I appreciate my time working, coming out of the sugar cane fields and giving me a different professional place to work. So that was good. Any other questions or comments? Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Resolution approving a refund of special events application fee. At the last board meeting, there was a resolution that came forth for a special event that was denied based on board consideration. So we were just requesting, and we had discussed refunding their application fee.
And we have to do this for the people at home. We have to do this by resolution because we took the money in by resolution. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Madam Clerk, next item.
Resolution approving the special event license application for Hoochie Whiskey and Music Festival.
We have an explanation.
So as you guys, everyone knows that the Hoochie Festival will be here in August. They are required to apply for a special events application and pay the fee, which they have. We are still in the process of getting insurances on our part. So our insurance company is okay with everything that's going on.
Thank you very much. Any other questions or comments?
So there's nothing pending from the applicant, it's strictly,
Well, we're waiting on, they need to provide certain insurances for our insurance company to
Okay.
approve it. So that's what we're waiting on.
we think that'll occur between this meeting and,
I'm hoping to have all the approvals by the board meeting.
okay, thank you.
I'm excited about that. Yes, ma'am?
We have to discuss it first.
All right. Are there any other items that we need to review? Okay, we have a couple items for board action. Madam Clerk, can you read the first item?
Item number 1, resolution authorizing the appointment of deputy court clerk.
We have a motion.
Move.
We have a second.
Second.
We have an explanation.
Yes, thank you. This would be authorizing the appointment of Megan Sweeney for our currently vacant deputy court clerk position.
Any discussions or questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Tell Megan congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
Item number 2, authorizing capital lease financing of 1 bucket tree truck for the Bureau of Public Works.
May I have a motion?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any additional explanations? Seeing none? Any discussions or
If I could,
questions?
this might be to Commissioner McGee. I guess I'm just curious, is this a replacement or is this an upgrade, I guess is my question.
This is a replacement. This is to replace we have 2 tree trucks. This is the taller of which, the 70-foot lift. So yeah,
Okay.
when the purchase is complete, then we would look to get rid of the older one.
So we'll auction that off or?
Correct.
Okay, yep, thank you.
Of course.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
Item number 3, authorizing an amendment to the 2025 budget.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any additional explanations?
This resolution would amend the 2025 budget equally among the revenues and expenditures, so it would have no net effect on the taxes or on the, this would increase the budget for the courts for interpreter services, as they have found that they have a higher need for those services this year. This expense is 100% reimbursable by the county.
Thank you.
Before we vote on this, I have a question. Madam Director, last year we had a request for an interpreter. How often do you have a request for interpretation for kids, et cetera? And so the question is, should we add in your potential for services in this while we're doing this at one time?
Yes, so last year was the first time we've had that request, and we do have it this summer as well. So I would like to include that in next year's budget.
Okay, may I have a motion to add in the,
Are the courts separate from recreation?
well, it's interpreter
Courts would be
services, so would that,
separate. They're only reimbursable by the county for the court services.
okay. How does the, Madam Director get reimbursed, or is that separate? Do we know the question?
Yes, they are sending us an invoice after the fact.
Okay, all right. Okay, great. So let's continue with the court. Thanks very much for that. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. And I want to also, please present that next time. Let's add that to your budget so we can have that ongoing as a natural part of your budget. And reach out also to the elderly. See if there's any elderly people that also need, gives us a little chance to expand them at one person, two people who may need those services, who are older adults. Excuse me for using the word elderly. The resolution is adopted. Are there any points that the town board members want to ask the staff or present to the staff? Seeing none, our next town board meeting is July 22nd.
Actually, I'm sorry, I didn't realize, we do have an item under open discussion.
Okay, great.
So I apologize for that. I didn't realize you were moving along.
Not a big deal.
I did give you all a copy of a resolution that I'd like us to consider and hopefully adopt at next week's meeting, designating Irondequoit, the town of Irondequoit, as an age-friendly community. We had the presentation from Monroe County Aging Alliance, and this is a recommended resolution for our towns and our community to adopt. This is aspirational, something that we certainly can work towards. It is possible that by adopting this, it can put us in line for some grants in the future. It's part of a multi-step process. This would be step one. We'll be receiving the information from the questionnaire that went out to older adults in our community, and we should be able to receive some Irondequoit specific information. The next thing that we would like to do is to hold some focus groups with older adults in our community to find out about their hopes and their dreams. And then by the end of the year, we as a town can develop 2 or 3 goals for the future. So this is part of the step. And Mr. Attorney, you did ask the question, which we thought was a good one, about if there was cost, especially around the comprehensive plan. So that kind of works into the grant application, and I think Bill could speak to that better than I could. But that is a part of the whole process, is looking at the plan and making sure that we are age friendly in our plan and our development as a community.
Mr. Director?
Yeah, I think, this is kind of a happy accident, but we were looking to update our comprehensive master plan anyway, and there's grant funding available to do that. So this would work in concert with that, and, there's some level of description of age-friendly consideration in our current comprehensive plan, but not really to the extent that we're seeing currently in communities around the state. I'll also say that, as one of the first towns that's a pro-housing community, an age-friendly designation goes a long way towards grant applications as well. So this just opens up more doors for funding resources by going through this process.
Is there, Madam Councilwoman, is there any way that we can fast track this so that we can have the age-friendly in place or the resources in place by the time Mr. Director's applying for the pro-housing grants that are coming up?
Well, this is the first step, and I'm hoping that this would be on the agenda for next week for our board meeting. So it's the first step.
Did everyone read the proposal that you gave?
Yes.
Did you have any problems with the proposal?
No.
How about
My one question, I'm sorry, was about the master plan, but I believe that's been addressed through the grant and and the act, that we weren't invoking a new master plan process just by invoking this regulation, and I'm glad to hear that that process has been instituted and thought of institutionally, being institutionalized, so that's feathers in well.
Right. As Bill said, it just is just.
So as a town council, should we just simply, if no one has a problem with what's written, and Mr. Attorney, can we vote on this tonight, approve it tonight, with the caveat, and if you can word it for me to be accurate, of pending any amendments to this, if there's some wording changes that need to be done in the future? Could we just simply approve it and move this forward?
I appreciate that, but I think we can wait until next week.
Okay. Next week?
I'm fine with that.
Okay, all right.
I don't think waiting a week is going to change anything.
All right. Any other discussion?
Just so we're clear, this will be added to the agenda as a walk-in for next week.
Yes. Since there are no other discussion points, thank you very much for that. I think it's very, very helpful. The next town board meeting is July 22nd at 7 p.m. and the next workshop meeting is August 11th at 2025 at 4 p.m. This concludes our workshop meeting for tonight, July 14th, 2025. And can I get a motion to adjourn?
Moved.
May I have a second? Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. The meeting is adjourned.